round 2.
I do think the nice thing about the Shaman is that on a 4 you can go. It's probably going to be a 5 though, but Shaman can go BKB, especially if they're having a good game. It gets lucky with a Philosopher's Stone, but actually if it's a 5, probably less of a potential. But this is definitely the most important 2-bix for Army Geniuses. So it makes a lot of sense of why they're using all of their reserve time here.
Team pick. I speak for the trees.
Okay. I think they've just gone down that route that I keep talking about because I really was struggling to figure out what is a hero combination that's A, going to do well in lane, and B, going to be able to do well in these team fights. And I think Army Geniuses are just saying, you know what? There's not one, so let's not take team fights. Let's go down a different route. A laning stage that's going to be just fine, but we don't want one-on-one team fights. We want to be able to split the map up. We want to be able to pick off targets. We want to be able to fight around things like the Tombstone in the right instance. So don't hate this Nature's Prophet pick at all.
So you just flex the DK mid now and go for...
Templar Assassin.
Okay, well, we get the TA. Last time we saw Bob playing this, and it's a free Templar Assassin game at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Very little damage over time. The zombies can do a little, I guess, just to be able to get rid of the refraction charges. But even just sprout TP away, you've got the trap, right, to give you that vision, to be able to focus him down. No basher builders, I guess, is the one thing, and there's no BKB piercing stuns until TA gets melted bash, but even then, people don't really always go that. So, I don't know. It really depends how Prophet wants to take these team fights. It's definitely not an Orchid game from Prophet. I don't want to see him going that this time around. But what do you go? Do you go Witchblade this game on the Nature's Prophet? And then build early into things like, you know, BKB and Hex even, just to be able to catch out the TA in a vulnerable spot?
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the Maelstrom can also be something you're considering, just for farm. They feel like this is a... I mean, Wami really likes the Nature's Prophet. DB has played it a lot as well, so I'm kind of intrigued that they feel like they're looking still for their carry. I suppose they feel like they've already banned out enough mid laners to protect the TA.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, I think Execration is still leaving their opinion up in the air. It's going to depend on what this last pick is and what the lanes are revealed to be, because this DK, of course, can still be flexed. This TA can still be flexed. So they've got a big win in terms of their variety that they've got coming into this last stage. For Army Geniuses, they need their mid lane. They need a way to start fights. They need something that gives vision.
Necrophos.
Not crazy about it, to be honest. Is this like a mid Mars and a 1 Necro and a 3 Prophet?
You don't read the Furion's 1?
I mean, I'm just thinking about the lane matchups, right?
Remaining.
Doesn't feel like great running a Necro into the mid lane. No, honestly, no, it doesn't. You just got to lose the last hit battle against a DK.
But isn't it very good versus Strength Heroes?
Yeah, in general, for the game, but not for the laning stage, right? Heartstopper Aura doesn't do much early on. Like, the impact of that is not anywhere near as high. And if you can't snowball because DK is outlast hitting you with his superior right-click damage, because he's stunning you, because he is even just denying a lot with his Dragon Tail, then you don't scale. You don't get to just stay in the lane and regen more because he's got the Dragon's Blood to go on. So I'm not a huge fan of the Necro.
I think Execration are looking for a Tino here. I think you go TA1, DK2, because you want to dodge the DK Undying, but now... I'm trying to... Okay, is there like a Purge they can get as a position 3 for the Necrophos?
Yeah, that's what I was really looking for. I mean, you could go something that wants to build into a Yule Scepter, I guess, but there aren't many offlaners that do that. Nightstalker can go Nullifier, but doesn't feel like the greatest Nightstalker game.
Admiral Kunkka.
Kunkka can't really, but it's just a good way to be able to lock him down during the Ghost Shroud, I suppose. More control's never a bad thing. So it's a Palos Kunkka, Bob TA in the mid lane. and an offlane DK. I don't want to know where this Necro is going. Is it a 1 Necro? Yep. 1 Necro. I feel better about it than if it was mid. Even though it's still into the Dragon Knight, it's a fine enough lane just because you've got, of course, the Undying up there to start reducing the DK's health pool a lot more. You get much more value out of your Death Pulse just through being able to damage multiple units and heal multiple units for yourself. The damage potential is kind of high, but of course you've got the Undying there to be able to help with that. I think Shanks needs to be very careful about his positioning on the Hoodwink because at any time you know that this Nature's Prophet could just come and join in the lane and get some of those early kills to set you on the snowball that you need. But overall, I am favoring Execration with this one.
Yeah, same. I don't think you have an answer to the Templar Assassin. I feel like Bob's going to pop off. I think you have great ways to play around him. In regards to like Conquer with a sustain, DK to jump in so they can just make plays early to get Bob that farm. And then I think once they get Ages, they can really just look to Deathball down a lane. It's really going to rely pretty heavily on Wommy on the Nature's Prophet, I think, to split up the map and kite the first Ages, but it's going to get to a stage where you will eventually be forced to fight, I think. So it just seems like Execration also, their lineup seems a little bit easier to execute compared to Army Geniuses.
Wommy just needs to be very elusive this game, right? Like, you cannot show on the lane because they've got so many ways to be able to pick you off, especially once those Blink Daggers are available, right? Like, you could just have Shanks coming at you from the trees, tosses the bushwhack onto you, you're dead. You can sprout yourself, it just gives you more trees to be dead with the bushwhack. You've got a DK, Blink, Dragon Tail, dead. You've got X marks on the Conquer to be able to stop any TPs away. It just feels like a very rough game to play on this Nature's Prophet, so unless he's like, you know, TPing between tier 3 and tier 2 and tier 3 towers to be able to cut waves, or farming the jungle. But even farming the jungle, right, like that's not really what you want your position 3 to be doing. He needs to be out there creating some of the tempo for the game. Why do we need to pause?
Yeah. Do you feel like DB as this position 1 Necro is something that Execration haven't dealt with so far in their draft?
No, I feel like they've got enough damage, to be honest. Like, yes, the Ghost Shroud is going to be a bit of a pain, but like I was saying before, they've got enough stuns, like what, 1, 2, 3, like 5 stuns basically, to be able to lock him in place and be able to burst him down. It means the sharpshooter's almost always going to go off. You've got a good amount of burst through just having the TA and the Conquer Boat and the sharpshooter combination. So, no, I think it's going to be fine enough.
The Necro is definitely a hero that needs to... Like, you did get nerfed a little bit through the last patch, and I think even more now, like, it has to be a game where you cannot be blown up, and if you're saying that's not going to be the case, then I'm a little bit worried here for DB, especially with them giving the farm priority over to him as a position 1 Necrophos, so... I do think Tino's going to get nothing out of bottom. He's got stick. I mean, they're going to be spamming spells. I really wonder if they consider just pulling the wave, because fighting into a Necro Undying doesn't sound fun for Tino's Dragon Knight.
No, it's definitely not. Look at Vincenzo just putting himself up here in harm's way. They're going to get a decent amount of damage onto Palace and get at least 2 of the runes.
But, you know what?
What's up?
Ogre got a last hit. So he's chilling.
Ogres.
I think it was on the ward, honestly. So it's not like they got one of the trees. But that's still kind of hype. What's this corridor mid? Nothing crazy. All right, let's see. Last time Bob played the Templar Assassin, he absolutely popped off. They did not have an answer to him. I feel like they don't have an answer to him this game as well. And I have to imagine this is going to be a pretty good lane for Bob. How does Azure even look to play this matchup?
I think he just needs to play for the range creeps as much as possible. Like, spear him away when it comes to that stage. Maybe look for some clever plays where he slows and tries to spear back into the tower. He could be going for it now. Yeah, see? He was already trying to line it up, but not quite able to end it.
Alright, we got a tri-lane. I think Dire win this tri-lane. I don't think Wami's happy about laning into a conquer.
I don't think Wami's happy, but I feel like Narman and Variz are. Like, you're just going to get good value out of the decay. Illuminate's going to hit onto multiple units. Ogre's not the greatest at being able to lane into
DB
this.
might be in trouble. He's got the Fairy Fire.
Stingy with the piggybacks,
Should be able to chase him down. Bushwhack and Dragon Tail still on cooldown. Need 2 more right clicks. Tino gonna catch up. Long range swipe of the sword finds our first blood. Beautiful rotation. They felt like they didn't require the level 2 on Shanks. Just reading that the early levels for the Necrophos here can be very vulnerable. And they use this perfectly.
Just trying to get a little bit greedy there on Tino. Really wanting to get that last hit. Almost led to the Necro surviving, but well, it's resulted in Narman TPing up towards this top side. At least he'll be able to get the creep pull off, but it's just a half pull that Shanks gets, but it's going to be enough to deny away that range creep. So, yep, top lane going very nicely for Execration.
So now that we have a 2-on-2, how do you feel like this is any different now with bottom?
I think they just wanted something that was going to be capable of dealing with the treants. That's why Palos is actually in the off lane here. Just to be able to contest against Wami. I think it's still fine. Once you're level 3, it's going to skew much more in your favor on Execration's side. Don't think the... even just a point in the Bloodlust is going to be value for being able to deal with the Tombstone, so... see how impactful that's going to be.
Look at Narman. Run, little man, run. Or gallop away, whatever you want to say. This is so much space. What is Shanks doing? It's actually the play here for the Hoodwink. Is he just trying to keep tabs?
Yeah, he's stacking. Don't worry about it. He was coming this way anyway.
No way. He actually gets something out of that. That's... okay. Like value. Easy, easy stuff. Alright, now they're going to have a tri-lane down bottom pretty shortly. Vrish. Okay, Bob's under the tower. Refraction's up in 2 seconds. I don't think they'll have the damage beforehand as Bob just gets it off in the nick of time in our bottom lane. Variz gonna be in trouble. They break the bushwhack. Nicely played, and Variz gets a lot of health back thanks to decay. And he has the soul rip if required, but it will not be, as Army Geniuses find their first kill of the game.
That's a nice little way to deal with the bushwhack, I suppose.
DB, he's gonna be killed off. Tino's got boots. How is a dragon not gonna solo kill? Wait, maybe DB might solo kill. No way.
He just hit level 4.
DB just got 4. He's got pulse up in a couple of seconds. Tino with the burst. Oh, tip him.
The high roll.
Tip him, Tino. You're not supposed to get a solo kill in this matchup. You gotta tip him, man. I'll tip him for you. Can I all chat?
Please don't all chat. Don't do this to me.
Dude, that's
that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, that shouldn't. Oh, hang on, Palos. They got Tombstone for Variz if a fight breaks out, and on that it will. Vincenzo's going to turn to deal with the Tombstone, but Palos, no, the zombies. And now Vincenzo's in a bit of trouble. Wami's got the Sprout. If he can get in range for it, he can. Vincenzo cuts down the Pescel tree and will not be blocked in, he says. Get out of my way, Mr. Tree.
Sports definitely need to continue holding on to that. Those tangos, not really needing a Quelling Blade this game quite as much, but it's a lot of early skirmishing that's going to be happening, so holding tango is not going to be the worst. Chenzo just walking around underneath a ward at the moment, so has to be careful with his positioning as he's just trying to make this lane as difficult as possible for the Nature's Prophet, but it's Palace that's actually on the losing end here. Really did feel like this was done much more out of necessity again, just needing something that was going to be able to deal with these annoying treants that are effectively body blocking.
Yeah, I'm just watching top. Like, there's no... If Tino gets another solo... Okay, we chilling. It's going to turn to Narman instead.
It wouldn't have even been a solo. It would have been a 1v2.
Shanks is close to connect. Let's see if he's going to get in range for the bushwhack. No way! What's going on? 3 deaths on DV's Necro and 0 tips? Ah, oh, guys.
That's what you're worried about?
Yes, that's what I'm worried about. Danog, come on, man. This is the mind games. Okay, you have to understand. I thought you would understand. This is a Necrophos. This is a hero that I don't think anyone in Dota, there is like a 0.1% of people that like playing it, and everyone else says, screw you. I hope you don't win any games. So the fact that you haven't, hang on, we got opportunity. Zero,
Hello.
Arena. This is going to be an easy one. Nice rotation from Zero. TP's down bottom, and meanwhile, this is giving a little bit of space over to DB so he can soak up some experience. Of course, getting out of that horrible lane matchup versus the Dragon Knight.
It's kind of what I was saying. Like if it was just a 1v1 matchup mid, it probably would have turned out a very similar way. Not able to get as many of those last hits against the superior right-click damage of a DK. I mean, look at it now. I know part of it is because he's a level or two ahead, but he's got like, what, 30 more damage than the Necro? It's pretty significant, especially with just 1 point in Dragon Tail stunning for so long.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to stop him farming. You shouldn't be able to kill him. So the fact that it's gotten to that stage is rough.
So this is going to be a very early blink on Tino. And you also have a Templar Assassin who's free farming mid. They also have plenty of stacks as well by the triangle already. And look at what Dire have done. Just so much emphasis. Execration have always been a team that I've been impressed by, especially through this Pro Series with how they've been protecting their triangle. Always sentries are out instantly. They've got observer wards as well. Like, look at this is really 2 observer wards protecting their triangle. Like one kind of aggressively on Radiant's half in a very difficult spot to be able to de-ward. And then one on their own side of the map is in the river. Vincenzo. Not going to be enough damage here with Wrath of Nature. So Vincenzo is just going to TP out and actually back to the T1 tower. So he will be around for a fight if it does break out.
Shortest TP of all time. They see Varese up here with that ward that you were talking about, though. Vincenzo trying to deny this away.
What does Vincenzo do? He can't TP. He's like, oh no.
No, not the neutral creep. Hey!
Oh no. Varese is like, right, maybe I can take one of the creeps along with me, but you're feeding the beast. No, let Bob get the... Oh, Palos, no. It's not.
He had a hard lead. He's got this gigantic ancient camp. What are you talking about?
Well, we spoke about this in last game. Bob's asked for everything. Doesn't matter. I know the Ember had a hard game in game 1. Bob wants everything, man. It's Bob. Come on. We know him. His ego as a position 2. He can take over games. We've seen it before. And if you give him that tombstone plus...
Take over games. Wow. So toxic.
It's a position... Come on, man. You absolutely roast cause. I don't think I've ever known someone to have more of a hatred for cause than you.
It's not a hatred. It's just
a hatred.
It's disappointment.
It's, okay,
I'm disappointed.
Sure. I think it's a well-known...
I know they could be better.
Ah, right. What about you?
Perfect.
Perfect is all things.
Flawless.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, see, Vincenzo this time is like, yeah, I'm done with your Sprout shenanigans. I'll just pick up a quelling
He's got
blade.
the quelling. Oh no. He gets the D-ward value.
Oh, Azura's?
And that gives him a point in Bloodlust as well.
It's gonna get to a stage surely where these kills on supports with Arena is not worth it. You need to get
Dire's bottom tower is under
more
attack.
impactful kills and transition this to something. Because you've got, again, DK... Tino's got Blink. This is a crazy Blink timing. You've got Bob who's free farming. Dragonlance working on the Deso. I don't think this is a game
he
where...
just comes mid. He just comes mid right now on Tino. Like, you've got a TA there, you've got the lane pushing in.
Zura's got some heroes behind him, but it's going to connect. Shanks needs to step in for the bushwhack, and he's able to do so. They don't have a way to cut down the tree, so Azura's going to lose his life, and now they'll turn to DB. But it's a really good placement of the Tombstone, level 2, so it's something Execration need to deal with. As a blast flies on in through the lane, so they need to actually get out now on Execration. The supports are starting to fall low. Another kill with a scythe in the lane. All right. 2 supports are being killed off, and Palos now with the miss onto Narman. One more swipe will secure the kill. Meanwhile, Bob also gets a solo,
trapped.
but Tino's trying to step in. A little bit too late to be able to protect Mr. Narman. Will not matter though, as Tino, the cleanup crew, has arrived. He can blink over the tree and see if need be. Dragon Tail still on cooldown for 5 seconds, but this is going to further enable Tino's start to this game. He's going to be 4-0-1, 11 minutes in.
Yeah, he did a decent amount of damage to that top tower. I really thought he might try and connect through to that mid one, just because, you know, it's so much more of a valuable tower. And of course, he would have been able to be there for the start of the team fight. Unfortunately for Mars, he's going to drop the arena, but doesn't result in anything. Yeah, you're really not getting value out of this on Azura so far.
Oh, top lane.
With me.
I'm just going to see Mr. Palos hiding. They have any TPs to connect? Ogre's got one. TA's got one. Palos is very off with the combo. They are backstabbing. Tino's going to be underneath the ward. He's just beelining it to the Necro. But again, this is now a higher level along with the ultimate from Varese. So the damage is going to start to ramp up. And they cannot fight into the Tombstone. Well, Bob thinks otherwise. Though. That wand is still going to tick out. Vincenzo with the Ignite, level 3, but it's enough, and now Bob as well. Deals with the Tombstone's going to turn to Varese. Tino jumps in to the T1 tower range as Execration continuing with their dominant start in the second game.
We saw the first usage out of the Psionic Trap there, just to be able to give vision inside that Sprout. They were using it to try and protect the Tombstone as much as possible, but yeah, just not going to be effective when you're up against this TA. And well, speaking of which, hello, Stack. We're just able to take away from the enemy side of the map. That's the importance of holding on to these towers.
Poor Mr. Mars.
Oh, I thought he might go for the illusion rune dodge,
They're
but
connecting.
okay, he uses it to get rid of the debuffs on him. Nicely done.
Is there a... I need you to craft the way back in for Army Geniuses here. Give me something that we can work with.
Okay. I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay. You got plenty of time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm just even trying to think who they kill, because Shanks' positioning has been pretty damn good. Only the one death so far, but you need spirit, urn charges on this Keeper of the Light. He's only 800 or so gold away from the vessel. Got the Witchblade as well to be able to
Bottom lane.
join in.
I mean, Genius just smoked up. Tino's under the ward.
I don't know if he's the one.
Tino. He's got a big streak if they get him, but now he's close to the tower. Oh, they sidestepped the spear, but the TPs, where are they? Tino's still stuck inside the walls, and there we go. Scythe is out. DB. Tip him back. Oh, he didn't even tip him, just tip him.
Core ultimates used to kill one person, though, right? Like, it's pretty significant. Now Execration feels super free to just push into this mid lane. I mean, you've got the Mars TPing here, but I don't think Bob needs to be afraid at all.
Alright, well, second charge of the game for the Scythe. Gives a decent chunk of gold over as well to the Necro. So, Hood completed. And we'll see what he's going to try and transition into next. But, do you feel like Execration just looked to smoke off the respawn?
I don't think you need to. You know, you can just TP on mid, push the tower, they use the glyph. Why not? And then if you want to transition that into something stronger, feel free to. But feels like just a free tower. No need, push the tower in. Do you even consider roshing here? I mean, with no ultimates, it's certainly a possibility, yeah. DD, Elder Dragon form, this will melt. In the treants,
they're going to try and fight. I do not know.
I mean, Tombstone's in 3, if you get a good positioning on it.
Vincenzo's in a great spot to pop the smoke. And Roche is going to befall. They can't get any information on Roche, so there we go. Bob gets the Aegis.
Oh, they stole it. They got the kill.
Okay, not bad. Silver linings as Pala's going to drag back Azura. Combo's out, but it's giving them space to deal with a Tombstone. A arena to protect it. As Azura, okay.
Back into the arena.
Nobody get the Templar Assassin control for the moment. Keep in mind, Bob has the Aegis to play with. First light killed off.
20.
How do they set up for the second round on Army Geniuses? They used a lot at the start. No Tombstone, no arena. Spirit Vessel's out on DB. Tino's gonna fly over. Bob still is able to siege him down. Dragonlance attack rage is too much for them to handle, and in the end, yes, you lose the Aegis, but you're continuing to make this game even more difficult for DB to play.
Yeah, and this is without Bob being able to connect it onto the backlines. That time around, Palace was a little disconnected from the rest of his team. He was just controlling the Mars, but didn't really need to, considering the arena had already been used.
They're trying to fight mid. Zero, nice spear.
You got the outnumber.
Do they have the damage? That blast is a lot. And okay, with the Axe Shot now, Tino can't cut his way past.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh,
What's that?
was what?
That weird alright.
Huh?
You got to blink dagger or Bob. That's the important thing so far.
Radiant's bottom tower
Bobby.
is
Zura,
fallen.
not going to be able to get the blink spear off. Actually, never mind.
Doesn't get on a
Dire's
tree.
middle tower is
Bob's
under
got some backup. Oh, stuck inside the sprout now, but the boat's gonna fly in. And now with the run buff, Bob's gonna be okay. Deepa's gonna try and step into the middle, but Palace is protected for the BKB for the moment, but he's gonna be cautious. Scythe is there, but Palace is okay. He's able to pivot out of harm's way, and we have a 1 for 2 when it's all said and done with.
Shanks again, just his positioning is always on point. Able to get the value stuns, to be able to land the sharpshooter. He's just getting more and more charges of that vessel, and I love the fact you're up against a Nature's Prophet. It's a core. Didn't have the greatest start to the game, but in actuality is highest net worth on the team. And you know he's going to get to that level 20 at some point, right? So you need that to be able to break the leash, even just for prior to that, right? You don't want to be forced to carry this Quelling Blade on a Conqueror.
Bottom lane, Vincenzo might be... Yeah, he's gonna be in trouble. Protecting their cliff ward. Bob with the side blades. What is... No. Oh, actually, hang on. Now, Bob might be in trouble. They don't have a T1 to TP to. Blinding Light's going to be up shortly as well to push him closer to DB, who does have the scythe. Yo, can they get in range? Nice traps from Bob. And actually, by Radiance Triangle, they've run into the Mars. Spirit Buster's out. Palace going to get the cleave. And nice recognition from Execration. They know that Bob does not need assistance on the TA, so instead they're going to put themselves aggressively onto Radiant's side of the map, and they've run into Azura, just free pickings for them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Even top lane pushing in a little bit here with the siege creep. Doesn't look like Execration are putting too much value into it, considering no ultimates were previously used by Army Geniuses, so not wanting to put themselves in a vulnerable position. Shanks, he's just... Yeah, I'd say he's probably the MVP of... Would you say the series? I know they lost game 1, but he played pretty well in game number 1 as well.
What that thought is Mr. Vin... Oh, Jesus. What was that?
Radiant's middle tower is
That's what
under
happens when you
attack.
can't break a sprout.
What, so you're saying the Ag Shard is perfectly fine?
Oh, for sure. Love the shot.
Alright, they're gonna smoke. You got second level in Arena, maxed out Tombstone. You don't have second point in Scythe.
They
So
got
can-
Death Seeker, though.
Oh, look
So
at the
they've got that
treants.
damage ramp.
Wait, this is... Okay. They have wards, but you got the treants to scout out.
Oh, no. You hate to see it.
Always sung my praises for Miss Azura, but... I wonder...
Trash.
Clifford, what the hell? Dude, what? They're smoking to DB. He's gonna pop the Ghost Shroud, try and TP up, but Tino has a cancel. And now without the Ghost Shroud for the chain burst, and meanwhile top lane, Palace solo kills Wami, so...
Is under attack.
What the hell?
Nice sequence of events for the lads on Execration.
I think he had his BKB coming out to him on the courier, so a little unfortunate there for Wami, but Palace just really wanting to keep the foot on the pedal. Then again, they're not lacking in much. They've got tower damage, they've got push, they've got durability, they've got lockdown. Basically, the only thing that they're leaning a little bit too much into is the physical damage aspect. So I wonder if that's going to be the next priority for Army Geniuses to look
Radiant's
towards.
bottom tower
Shanks?
is under attack.
Zero's starting to wrap. Mr. Shanks is too speedy for them to have an opportunity. Let's see if they try and take a fight now with the BKB onto Wami.
Be on the TA though. I mean, how can you even deal with the right click? No one's wanting to go into an AC at this stage. Of course, you've got the Ghost Shroud and you've got the Death Seeker, which help a little bit.
Radiant's middle
I guess
tower
the
is under
the
attack.
Blinding Light on the Coddle, he's talented into it as well. So those are nice aspects, but when these BKBs become more of a factor,
Dire's
it's just
structures are
feels
fortified.
nowhere near as strong.
Great train Slumel. Alright, they're gonna try and take a fight here, Army Geniuses.
Dire's top
They see
tower
Tino
is
farming
under
aggressively, and he's still yet to have the BKB, so the Spirit Vessel's gonna do a lot of damage to the Strength Hero. As Tino will be killed off. Bob's gonna try and turn it though. He's got a double damage rune, but that's a really nice sprout. They should be able to kite this for the moment. They need a way to be able to cancel the blink. Shanks actually targeted the backline. One more little bit of ticket damage as Shanks will find it. I don't think Army Genius can stick around now. Maybe they could get Shanks and get out. Oh, Azura misses the spear. But meanwhile, DB's kind of been left on his own. But Bob doesn't want to deal with the Necrophos, instead targeting down the Keeper of the Light. An easy kill for him. And now Palace is charging on forward for the tier 2 tower as Bo's going to come crashing down, healing on the Necrophos with no hope of him to get anything off to protect himself as Execration. A decent fight. Of course, they do lose 2, but you're going to take 4 heads off the side of Radiant.
I mean, the DD helps, right? When the TA is able to output that level of damage, 4,200 at that stage, and well, they do have the glyph. They're going to be forced to pop it on this bottom side with a Chrysalis now coming out
Radiant's
to Bob's
bottom
TA.
tower is under attack.
Hopefully they do pop it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Probably lost a little bit more tower HP than they needed to, but this is just the map being completely choked out by Execration. They don't even need to worry about the arena for the next few seconds, so Bob,
Radiant's
with his
bottom
insane
tower
damage, should
is
be able
under
to secure
attack.
this outer tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They're trying to set up top as well. Nice position for Raze. Pops a smoke, but of course it's gonna come at a cost here for the Porodon dying, but they're gonna look to try and take the fight. I don't
doesn't
think
have
they
BKB.
killed Tino without the Spirit Vessel. But the rest of Execration is starting to connect. Tino's blocked in, beautifully done as from Wommy. They tried to force him out, but unfortunately that is a measly old tree, and as Wommy can pop him up. Oh my god.
Didn't even go all the way back to base. He's farming. He's got to
Dire's
get out.
top
They know
tower
exactly
is
where he
under
is.
attack.
Run.
Just take more of the TA's farm. I really want to see the DK prioritized a little bit more. You know, get him to his level 18, get him to that BKB, just so that he's a little bit more survivable. And, well, there's that nullifier. Doesn't matter if you've got the Yule Scepter, the Ghost Shroud, the Death Seeker. You are very capable of being focused down.
Radiant are scanning.
Is it just still for Army Geniuses you're looking for Wommy to continue to split the map up and look for a fight where there's a numbers disadvantage for Execration?
I mean, it's at the stage where you could probably just be farming areas like in front of the tier 2 Dire Tower or farming their ancient camp, because you know that they don't want to be there. He's doing his best to push top, but top's probably not where you want to be considering Roshan's coming up shortly, and that's the
Dire's
area
top
that
tower is under
Execration are more
attack.
likely to be patrolling around. Still doing a decent job of pushing in that top wave. If they can take that away, that's a pretty significant deal as Palace TP's back to try and defend.
Dire's
Pops the
structures are
glyph in
fortified.
tandem, which is a bit of a waste. So, any big items coming up shortly? Oh, I mean, Mars basically has the BKB. Prophet basically has Shadow Blade. Nearly the mechanism as well on Varese, but it's a little bit further away. Oh man, unlucky that Bob is right there for the Roshan respawn. I was really wanting them to maybe go for a smoke, take out that tier 2 tower, take the outpost, and then go for a Roche play themselves, but they're just not going to have the luxury for that.
Who does Bob one hit now with Daedalus? Oh, that thought.
Say-
Smoke out Azura. Ooh. Doesn't get the jump now. Execration should have plenty of time to react. An early use of the side, but okay, they burst down Palos.
Yeah, the Death Seeker.
Now Tino as well. BKB gonna protect him for the moment. Bob doesn't really have much mana to play with on the first life, and they're actually gonna cut their losses at Tino, so... Alright, Army Geniuses, a nice sequence of events for them. Really the first victory we've seen in a little bit of time.
Yeah, he was chain lockdown, not able to pop the BKB. Good use of the Death Seeker and Reaper's Scythe. Still, unfortunately for Tino, he was there to deal a lot of the damage for Roshan, but just he keeps losing so much gold from these last 3 or 4 deaths. Almost all of it unreliable. And, well, he's still about 400 or 500 gold away from finishing up that Mithril Hammer for himself to complete the BKB. But we do have 4 stuffs. 4 stuff on Ogre, 4 stuff on Hoodwink. TA could very easily go into it. I know she's got a Swift Blink queued up, but Hurricane Pike, not the worst this game. Especially as we're approaching...
Bottom lane, Bob's gonna try and step in onto the Necrophos. In fact, just 2 hits Narman.
Dire's top tower is under
Azura's gonna try and jump. Nice spear from Azura. They're doing a lot of damage to Bob at the moment. So Age is ticked out. He's got BKB for the second round. But it looks like Army Geniuses are happy with what they've got, and unfortunately for Wummy, forced to pop a defensive BKB, and Bob's now gonna aim for... Jesus Christ. 956 damage on a crit. Love to see it. Azuro? Yo, you're committed. BKB can't TP out. Poor Azuro's gonna be chased down.
We can't join for another 5.
Spears up in 3, but it's too long and doesn't want a defensive arena, as Bob could have just popped his own BKB. So a bit unfortunate. Could have been probably too greedy for the ogre, but you see instantly that's trying to shove out the lanes. Top shoved out, bottom shoved out, but unfortunately for mid, will be under siege.
Another tower. You're happy enough with it. Bob reaching his level 25 as well, so they had troubles getting through the refraction previously. Good luck moving forward. Doesn't really need the melted bash, considering just the raw damage that they have at this stage on Execration.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Career for you, Mr. Tino? Just floating in the mid lane with your BKB on it? Hello?
Nothing wrong.
Hello?
Scanning.
Pro plays the micro, it's always on point.
There we go. Gets it just in time before the creep wave kills it.
Do you feel like Dire in a position to fight? Oh, sorry, Radiant?
I think they kind of have to. They don't have Aegis to contend into. I don't think you can go on TA, though. You got to try and get one of these easier picks. Huddle with just the one Spirit Vessel charge needs to be so discerning with who exactly they want to use it on, but well, Execration, they're just playing around their vision. They say, we haven't seen them in a while. Let's at least try and take a fight in an advantageous spot for us, but they go on the backstab. They'll know exactly where this rotation is coming, though.
Kenna's going to show on the lane. They do have a ward on their triangle. Tino might not have an opportunity for the BKB. TB's going to use the scythe early. And Tino, once again, has his head chopped up, but Bob is instantly beelining to the middle of the fight.
Oh my god.
Right, Spear's going to push Bob away, and that should give them the retreat.
Clear sailing now.
Link up in fire for Bob. Are they actually going to try and turn this? They have the tombstone on the high ground, lacking detection. An early BKB from Bob. He's stuck inside the sprout, so they're doing a very good job to kite him for the moment. But Palace is going to send the boat straight into the middle. Now with a run buff, Bob's still going to be cautious, so... Decrep kiting him. Still going to try and kite to the right side. Bob's in trouble. Spear's going to be off the mark. Can he get the blink away? A couple more seconds. They're ticking him out, but Refraction's enough to keep him alive. Now back to the middle of the fight we go as Palace. He's stuck inside the sprout. As Radiant. Whoa! Really nice fight for them. It's another time that they're able to kill off Tino, so the Dragon Knight is completely out of the equation. They fight into the tombstone. And these sprouts, man, they're getting really annoying for Bob to deal with.
They might even run into Shanks here. Narman.
Ooh, there's a
got the
sentry.
sentry right next to him. Not going to get him, though. Yeah, I mean, it's the vision, right? Like, they were fighting underneath the vision. It's a little bit of an unorthodox spot, for sure, but... just means that Tino, he probably needs to be
Shanks
playing
is
around
going for this solo kill. No way.
What's wrong?
Ooh. Well, honestly, the past 2 fights for Army Geniuses have gone relatively well. Something I would not expect at this stage of the game. I mean, Bob is exceptionally farm. Top of the net worth by about 8,000 gold.
I mean, the difference is Tino just needs
Dire's
to not get
middle
popped
tower
at the
is
start.
under
It's as
attack.
simple as that, right? Like, he's close to level 20, so he'll have the extra strength for survivability purposes, but he just needs to play with the rest of his team. Like, it's at the stage where going off on your own...
Zero's in trouble mid. Oh my god. Just watch
That's what
Bob
Bob needs.
2-hit someone. Like, what?
Yeah, he needs... Bob just needs people to allow him to right-click. And right now,
Dire's
you're relying
bottom tower
on
is under attack.
a Kunkka that can have your initiation BKB'd or a Hoodwink with a really slow travel time. So it's got to be the DK that's making a lot of those early attempts.
I am unaccustomed to hiding.
I really wonder if Palace considers going boots to travel. I think their biggest issue right now is lanes.
Well, You better hope that he doesn't show on this one.
Oh, DB.
Oh,
Oh,
well, they
DB.
see him.
Oh, well, and oh, yeah, I bet they do. Well, there is absolutely no hope for the Necrophos. Bob is showing by the triangle, but there's nothing they can do about it. As even with 3 heroes surrounding Necro, the rest of Dire can play aggressively on the map. They gotta get out of mid. Oh, the traps. I hate traps. I hate them with a passion. Narman, drag back. No TP cancel for you. And Bob just 2 hits another support. Narman's got Glimmer up in a couple of seconds. Hopefully he doesn't run into a sentry radius. And while he does just that. Get out, Mr. Cartel.
Dire's middle tower.
Oh, Narman. Tough life to live.
The devil to pay.
You're versing a tier that's 12-0 and 7. Oh, Bob.
Standard. I mean, if he's able to take away, what, 2 separate ancient
Dire's
stacks that you
bottom
had,
tower is under attack.
never bodes well. They don't have creeps, though, to be able to push this in. So that is the one thing that they're doing quite well on Army Geniuses, just being annoying. Constantly shoving in these waves, pushing them out as much as they can.
Zero showed top. Oh, Bob!
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Is Bob gonna 3-hit everyone?
Not the ancient. There's 4 hits.
That's funny.
Feeling a bit mean today.
Dude, I'm cranky.
Radiant are scanning.
Well,
Radiant's top
Tower's
tower
going to
is
go
under
down pretty
attack.
quickly, though. Desolator, it's maxed out. The nerf wasn't enough to the,
Radiant's top tower
it's
has
called
fallen.
Soul Stealer. Wow. That's a bit of an edgy name for the extra damage for Deso.
Bottom lane, Wombi. You're very scared, my friend.
He's nearly 20.
Oh, get out. You gotta get out. He can always BKB TP afterwards.
Swiftly
They'll
to
force
the
a BKB at
temple
least out of them.
Oh, he's just following him. Look at TA with the haste.
You gotta go now.
Might be a bit soon.
Ooh, gotta be quick, gotta be quick, gotta be quick.
What? Was his invis running out on the Kunkka?
I-
I assume that's why he made the attempt.
I have to imagine.
Blessings.
But still, no BKB on a Nature's Prophet. Very valuable.
What? Wait, what? What just...
What?
I
What?
don't know how you... What? I don't know how Azure
happened?
used Arena. I have no idea how he used it inside the bit. How do you... Okay. It's all good. We're chilling. There was a lot of voice lines. There was a tip as well, so... And bottom lane, who have they run into? Oh, poor old Mr. Narman. Oh, Ghost Scepter TP. Is it going to be a long enough duration?
Is he going Skadi or...
On
No, he's going the
Bob?
Aghanim's Blessing on TA. Love it. He's looking to stop the rat from happening.
Not that. TV. It's like, what do I do? I'm playing in Necro 1. Like, what did you draft me?
It could work in the right scenario, but this is not the one. I feel like they had the control to
Zero?
allow him to...
Off the mark. Shanks is retreating to Webereeze's position. No, oh, Wommy didn't get the sprout. Shanks, get out, my friend.
Sharpshooter inside the pit? No.
Like, can Radiant fire? They've still Arena on cooldown, 5 seconds. They've got really good wards nearby. Bye-bye ward. Tino's able to get rid of it.
Axe Blessing, Bob's coming top. Straight in the Roche pit, right when it respawns. Get a refresher as well. Who do you even give that to? Maybe Kunkka?
Oh, look
Extra
at this.
nullifier,
Oh,
big wraparound.
but they're like, screw them. We're just going to push our bot. What do you do now on Army Geniuses? They're so scared. They see no one.
I mean, they got a glyph though.
Dire
They're
are
going to force
scanning.
them back as soon as someone shows they got a ward inside the base. So look at
Radiant
Tino's
structures
positioning.
are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower
Are they
is under
going to
attack.
go for Duke? Well, there's a trap there, so... It's going to be a full set for... Oh, there we go. Tino jumps instantly. So there's one down, but Coddle's got to buy back at least.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks.
And you're all right, Azura. Double spear. Maybe this is the fight they can turn it around, but they haven't dealt with Bob as he just crits through one. The only way Armor Genius should come back in is now off the buyback.
Oh my god, Bob.
Bob,
Give
give
him
him
the
the
rampage.
rampage. He deserves it, dude. He's played such an exceptional game. 16-0-8. But Bob's fallen pretty low. Gonna try and TPR, and they don't have a cancel. Love me, Tips TV. As this one's looking mighty over in the end. Execration, they'll be able to tie this series. What a showing from Bob. A double bushwhack to end it. He's back into the middle.
Radiant's middle tower is
Oh,
under attack.
Bob.
Mind are as one.
18-0-9, and there's the GG. And, well, for both of these teams' fans, they're going to be feeling pretty happy, right? 1-1 guarantees them upper bracket in the Pro Series, and that means we got our top 4 secured.
Hype!
Yay.
What do you mean, dude? You're not getting excited with me.
I get excited, like, because it seemed like a foregone conclusion. I'm going to get excited for what happens with the lower bracket, because it seems like it's still a really close race. And I was talking before about what the tiebreakers also meant with the two teams, notably Motivate Trust as well as Little Gun, who are dead even on those tiebreaker rules. This result changes nothing. Another 1-1 for both of these two teams that either of them have got to win against means that it's still going to be a very anxious wait for Little Gun in particular, who had done all of their series, and Motivate Trust. Their fate's a little bit more in their hands, of course. They've got to play against Enigma C, I believe, and both Army Geniuses and Execration have one series of their own remaining, just for seeding purposes, I guess you could say, for the upper bracket. Very important. You don't want to get up there and just drop straight down to the lower bracket. So they can't rest on their laurels just yet. But speaking of that upper bracket, guess what we got next? The other two teams facing off against each other, 1 and 2, which is going to be pretty hype.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We got Polaris taking on Enigma Galaxy C. Both of these teams are 10-2, and like you said, this is really just for seeding, but it's going to be exciting to see how they can battle it out. Of course, it's also 2 new rosters for them, and they've been looking really solid overall through the Pro Series, but this is maybe a matchup that could be... It's almost a bit of a teaser for what the grand finals could be, especially with how these two teams are looking. Of course, anything can happen in the playoffs, but our last series tonight is going to be exceptionally exciting. I hope so, at least. I hope it's going to be exciting, and we know it will be. Stick around, guys. You've got Enigma Galaxy C taking on Polaris. We'll see you after the break.